Chair recognizes Mr. Armstrong for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Roth. I'm going to continue down that line of questioning. So you testified you were just talking about working very hard to keep foreign troll farms from using Twitter and to engage in malign foreign interference. This sounds like a fairly robust undertaking. You said between 2016 and 2020 you had different teams stood up to do this. Constant vigilance?
Yes, sir. That was the phrase that we used.
Yeah. And these types of attempts are constantly evolving. They're trying to find new ways to penetrate your system, so you have to be engaging with it on and being willing to adapt on a constant basis.
Yes, sir. That's right.
And now we forward to 2020, and earlier you had testified that you were having regular interactions with national intelligence, Homeland Security, and the FBI?
Yes, I did.
And primarily to deal with foreign interference?
Primarily, but I would say almost
misinformation and all of that.
exclusively.
But you had said earlier, like your contact with Agent Chang was primarily with foreign interference?
Yes, that's right.
All right. And these were emails, were there meetings?
Yes. Twitter met quarterly with the FBI Foreign Interference Task Force, and we had those meetings running for a number of years to share information about malign foreign interference.
Agents from Homeland Security or intelligence, or just primarily the FBI?
Our primary contacts were with the FBI, and in those quarterly meetings, they were, I believe, exclusively with FBI personnel.
And you had multiple former FBI agents on the payroll. I mean, Mr. Baker, you have 10 years experience with FBI, DOJ?
I was, well, with DOJ, it's 2 decades roughly, but I was just, for the record, I was never an FBI agent.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Twitter has such a close relationship with at least one FBI agent that that agent could start emails with, "Hey, Twitter folks," and could actually advise your company about violations of your own terms of service. Mr. Roth, I think it's safe to say that you had a consistent dialogue with the FBI for the weeks and months prior to the New York Post. Is that fair?
I had ongoing conversations with the FBI for years, I would say, about election
And
security.
in response to Mr. Fry earlier, you said you would not categorize the FBI communications as pressure.
No, I would not.
However, Twitter's director of policy wrote to you in 2020 that Twitter has seen a sustained effort by the intelligence community to push Twitter and that Twitter should keep a solid front against these efforts. He specifically cited Elvis Chan, an FBI agent in San Francisco. Now, on August 11th, 2020, Agent Chan sent you 3 documents in prep for a meeting and said the documents pertain to APT-28, a hacking unit connected with Russian military intelligence. Agent Chan arranged for having security clearance for Mr. Baker and facilitated encrypted networks for the FBI to share information with Twitter employees. And on October 14th of 2020, you stated that this feels a lot like somewhat of a subtle leak operation. Earlier today, you testified that you were following national experts on Twitter, national security experts on Twitter, as a reason to take down the New York Post story on Hunter Biden's laptop.
Yes, sir, I did.
So, after 2016, you set up all these teams to deal with Russian interference, foreign interference. You're having regular meetings with the FBI. You have connections with all of these different government agencies, and you didn't reach out to them once?
Is that question in reference to the day of the New York Post
Yeah.
article? That's right. We generally did not reach out to the FBI to consult on content moderation decisions, especially where they related to domestic activity. It's not that we wouldn't have liked that information. We certainly would have. It's that I don't believe it would have been appropriate for us to consult with the FBI.
In December of 2020, you did a declaration to the Federal Election Commission that the intelligence community expected a leak and a hack operation involving Hunter Biden. Recently, Mark Zuckerberg confirmed that the FBI warned Meta that there was a high effort of Russian propaganda, including language specific enough to fit the Hunter laptop Biden security story. You're talking to these people for weeks and months, years prior to this leaking. They have specifically told you in October that there's going to be a leak potentially involving Hunter Biden's laptop. They legitimately and literally prophesized what happened. And you didn't contact any of them?
No, sir, I did not.
Did they reach out to you?
On and around that day, to the best of my recollection, no, they did not.
So after the story was taken down and you guys did it and you personally disagreed with it, Ms. Gaddy, you said you did. Did you contact them and say, hey, is this what you were talking about?
If that question was directed to me, no, I did
Ms.
not
Gaddy,
discuss
did you
that.
talk to anybody from the FBI?
Not to the best of my recollection.
So I guess my question is, what is the point of this program? You have constant communication. They're set up for foreign interference. They've legitimately warned you about this very specific thing, and then all of a sudden everybody just walks away? Like, this is what you planned for. This is what you prepared for. This is the information. They told you exactly what was going to happen, and then you want, I don't care if it's members of Congress, you legitimately want the American people to believe we just completely cut off contact with all of the people who we were supposed to defend against? I don't think it passes the smell test, and neither do the American people. I yield back.